Hey everyone, my name is Scott from the YouTube channel Nerdsync. You're probably not used to seeing a human face on camera on this channel, so I'm going to try my best to keep this as brief as possible. Apropos of absolutely nothing, I want to talk to you guys about the bat turn.
Hold tight, bat turn.
This is the term used for whenever an actor or stunt person who is dressed in a Batman suit can't turn their neck without turning their entire torso. Fun fact, apparently it's one of the reasons why bat nipples existed, as George Clooney claims he could never look down to see the rest of the costume and had no idea that there were nipples there. You know what? I don't buy that for a second, George. As a famous and successful actor, I'm sure you would have had access to the new and booming technology that is mirrors. Boy, we immediately got off topic. So back to the bat turn. Now, you might think that it's probably not a great idea to limit the movements of a crime fighter, a martial artist like Batman, forcing their head in one stuck position as they go out into the night fighting crime and driving all sorts of bat-themed vehicles. I mean, surely that would give his enemies some kind of advantage. And you know what? I honestly can't defend why it would be a good idea to make Batman not move his neck, but I will defend why it would be a good idea to not let Batman actors move their necks. Or at least I'm gonna try to. Who knows, this could end horribly. So just a quick history of the bat turn. It was present throughout all of the old Batman movies, except the 1966 Adam West one, which featured a pretty free-flowing bat neck. A compliment that movie doesn't hear enough. But the reason why Michael Keaton had to do these weird statuesque bat turns is because that's just how the costume was designed. It didn't really allow for anyone to move their neck independently of their body. Quote, "I just worked the suit, man. I let that suit go to work for me, and that's kind of what you have to do. This whole thing where I move my whole body like a statue came out of, I mean, I'll take some credit for it, but really it was practical. It really came out of the first time I had to react to something. And this thing was stuck to my face and somebody says something to Batman and I turn my head and the whole thing goes RIP." After that incident, the director, Tim Burton, gave him some advice like, you know, just kind of like move all of you instead of just your neck. Keaton goes on to explain, quote, "I'm feeling really scared and then it hit me. I thought, oh, this is perfect. This is perfect. I mean, this is like designed for this kind of really unusual dude. The Bruce Wayne guy, the guy who has this other personality that's really dark and really alone and really kind of depressed. This is it." End quote. Keaton's unusual movements as the Caped Crusader were cemented into the mythos and were carried over to Batman Begins and a little bit of The Dark Knight. Christian Bale once reflected on how the huge neck was like that of a feral panther. He also channeled that uncomfortable nature of the costume into his performance as the frustration made him act more fierce. But they finally got rid of it with a costume redesign in The Dark Knight in favor of both practicality in the real world and the fictional world. I mean, you know, Batman would probably need to turn his head. Meanwhile, an actor in a physically demanding role might not like having their movements restricted and might want to add some nuance and subtlety into the character of a giant Batman. Personally, I like the bat turns. I think it makes the character look inhuman. Not these Inhumans, but just the concept of inhuman. Batman is supposed to be menacing, and by limiting the actors to these large dynamic movements, I think it adds to the character. It adds a larger-than-life physicality to the role, and makes him a little bit uncanny and strange. And yeah, sure, it can look silly and awkward, but it also helps to hide his humanity. I mean, Batman wants to be seen as a symbol, not a human. And what kind of human moves like this? And while the DCEU looks like they went back to the old days of having a stiff and restricted bat neck, in reality, the costume designer spent a ton of time and energy making all sorts of prototypes that would allow Ben Affleck to be able to turn his neck and flawlessly deliver this zinger.
I thought she was with you.
No, you did not. There's no reason why you should have thought that. You knew who she was. Let's not dwell on this. What do you guys think about the bat turn and just the physicality of Batman in film? I'd love to know your thoughts about it. And I also understand that this is probably a weird topic for me to use to introduce myself to you. But hi, again, I'm Scott from Nerdsync. Go check us out. We make new videos every Wednesday and Saturday that critically examine comic books and superheroes and all sorts of nerdy stuff, or as we like to say, we read between the panels. I posted a video just the other day about how scientifically it would be impossible for Han to shoot second after Greedo, so go check that out if that's interesting to you. And I want to give a huge thanks to Mr. Sunday for allowing me to make this video and allowing me to talk to you guys. I think I've been on this channel before, at least in some capacity, and I love you guys, I love hanging out here, so thanks for just being welcoming and nice and supportive. Thanks everyone, take care.